first started, we were like, I think we just rather go home and and just go out there and and try to wait for this to finish. But then we thought about it. We're like, it's
what if
better.
It gets home?
And we thought about it in a way that what if, as we're going home, we take it home, or we find someone. Or
on the way.
On the way, yeah, you can just you get it, and then you get home and you get locked up, stuff like that. So what we did was to just try to make sure we're in those.
Stay where we were, because that was literally what the government was saying. They were literally just saying stay put.
So I am living abroad, but I don't necessarily see myself as a visitor, which is a problem. I constantly feel homesick. But then when I'm in Lesotho, I also feel homesick. It's such a difficult thing. Home for me is hard to define, because I haven't, like, my immediate family, mom, dad, sister, brother, and my husband and my niece, like, they're all here. But then the rest of my family, my grandparents and all sorts, my cousins, they're all in Lesotho or South Africa. So it's difficult when we come to talking about where home is for me, because I constantly miss and feel homesick. I don't think it's just COVID-19 that makes me feel homesick. I think it's an ongoing feeling.
No, I'm okay here. For now, I feel like everything is still under control. I don't see the need to go home. If ever I want to go home, it's about me missing my parents. That's it. It has nothing to do with the pandemic. I'm still very okay here.
Yes, very much so. I would rather be home with my mommy.
Because I'm fearful of losing people that I love and I haven't seen in years. I think the last time I was in Lesotho was about 5 or 6 years ago. It would be like, literally, it would tear me apart if I would lose anyone in this time and I didn't have time to see them because I was so busy. So I would regret that. It definitely does make me want to go home, but I constantly want to go home.
I honestly, I'd rather be here for this, because, like, at the moment, as much as I'm home, there's still some things that I can do. I can still go out and record, but, like, I feel like when I'm home, I'm a bit more limited in what I can do, like, in general.
It makes it worse in the sense that I am not there with my family. I'm not there to be assured of their safety. If anything happens, God forbid, I am not there to hug and kiss and tell them that I love them face to face. I feel like I worry about them more than I worry about myself.
So I've been living abroad for 18 years. So for me, this is home. It's weird, but at the same time, I wish I was with my family. But then, because my siblings are also, my sister's in Joburg, my brother's in Cape Town, my parents are in Lesotho. So even them, they're not together. They're at home, but they're not together. So, it's made me feel that, okay, we're all in this together. We're in the same boat. Because even if I was home, I would not be home. I would be at my house, wherever that is. I would be locked down there. So it doesn't feel very different. Plus, we're keeping in touch on WhatsApp as we do.
I did consider this, that maybe I should go home. But then I figured if I go home, I think there's a higher chance getting this from the airport, because that's where a lot of people from a lot of places are. And I don't want to leave this place without having gotten it, get it from the airport, and then be one to pass it around at home. I wouldn't want to put my family in that situation. I wouldn't want to put my country in that situation. So I think I'm just going to stay put where I am and know that I am safe where I am, and at least minimize the chances of me getting the virus.
I always tell myself that I am where I'm supposed to be and I'm always proven right. So to answer that question, I am where I'm supposed to be, and I live by that always.
It doesn't necessarily make me want to be home. I think especially because Western Australia is dealing with this so well. I feel really safe here.
Honestly, I think it's a blessing that I live abroad. I know it's even worse here in the Western side of the world, but I think things are handled way better. The healthcare is proper, and I know if I was at home, our country, the healthcare is not good enough. And if I know right now it's good that we have 0 cases at home, and we all know if there were to be someone who's infected, like, it would be chaotic because we don't have enough supplies to help people go through all that. So now that I'm here, healthcare is 100% on the next level, and the government is helping everyone to like be able to provide for their families. So it's still stressful, but somehow because you have everything well structured, it still helps you to at least stay sane, because at home our parents are stuck at home, they don't work, and the government is not even helping in any form, so which is kind of very hard on them right now.
It does make it worse in a sense that I do miss home, and anyone would want to be with their family in a time like this, but at the same time I don't want to put my family at risk, and I would rather be here trying to get as much schoolwork as I possibly can at this time.
I honestly don't know when this is going to be over. I can't even think of a possible time, except the fact that we really need to abide by all the rules that have been set for us, especially because right now in Lesotho we still have no reported case. It also makes me wonder if when we do get a case, will we be ready to handle it?
I honestly don't know when the lockdown is going to end, and I want to avoid making any speculations, because should things happen otherwise, I'll probably find myself in a lot of anxiety and there will be no turning back from that. So right now my main focus is just taking guidance from the government and doing as much as I can to remain compliant to the rules and regulations provided.
I think maybe around July we'll have like a little bit more freedom than we do at the moment.
Like last week they were supposed to ease down the rules, but they didn't, and I've been hearing rumors that like kids might also not even be going back to school for like the rest of the year. So I don't know.
That's $1 million question, which raises a whole lot of other questions. I don't know. It's really hard to tell.
To be honest, I can't tell. I don't think anybody knows. It's that I don't know situation. I really can't say July or September or next week or next month. Honestly, I don't know. I can't say next year. I have no idea at all. But of course, I'm hoping it will end. Of course it will end, but I don't know. I can't put a time to it.
Some states in America have started opening for business slowly, but New Jersey and New York are still on lockdown. The governors and the mayor are working on reopening plans. They're working on a smarter way and safer way to reopen, which I feel it's the right direction to take, instead of just opening with no plan. Because the worry when we open is, what are we going to do? Are we going to be safe? What are the extra safety precautions that are going to be in place at work, at public places? What's going to happen there?
I think for the United Kingdom, I want to say things are looking up, but you never know. So we've gone through our first peak in terms of the cases and the deaths, and the Prime Minister was just saying today that there's a little bit of concern that there may be another peak where things get worse before they get good. So I'm not too sure when this will end. I think it can absolutely end by sometime next year. I'm just gonna hope and bet that we've got a year of kind of just weeding out and going through it, and it will pass through us and just die out.
I'm honestly hoping by at least end of July or end of June, because we're only starting to have summer here and it's been snowing for like 7 months, and for once we just want to have fun. It's warm outside. Can we just have fun and go out and meet people, you know? So that's what I'm hoping. At least by the end of June this should be over. I pray to God.
Honestly, I hope earlier than we expect, but with the right safety measures, with the right plan. We're definitely not gonna get back to a normal life anytime soon. In fact, we shouldn't get back to a normal life. Things should be better than they used to be.
I think next year, I think this year we'll still have some remnants of it, because I know a friend of mine in the Philippines mentioned that they have just been told that, you know, schools will be back in September, so they've just extended their lockdown. So I think probably December or January, that's when they can lift off completely.
In France, they told us that on the 11th of May there will start downgrading the restrictions. So certain places will still remain closed, but places such as offices and work, and obviously there were also recommendations that if you really can stay at home and do your work at home, it's recommended that. My university, all classes are going to remain through or are going to carry on through the internet, as well as exams have been put in place through the internet.
I'm thinking July. I think even though it won't be like completely over, but I think a lot of things will be back into normal. Like people will now be moving around and people will be able to travel, even though maybe not almost all the countries. But I think it'll be fine in July.
The way things are going, I think it was gonna drag out a bit. Initially I thought July, but then as I'm following other countries and how they're not observing rules, I'm thinking it's gonna drag out a bit longer.
I think it's a long haul. I think we will have some sort of new normal, especially now, like I said, the kids are going back to school this week, so maybe here it's not gonna be as bad. We won't feel it. We won't feel the effects, but I believe some other countries, I think it's still gonna take a while until they get there.
Going to cherish every moment, enjoy the sun, breathe outside, enjoy looking at the birds, like everything. I'm not going to take things for granted anymore. But again, lockdown has also taught us how to be family and stay close and check on people. It has really taught us the importance of checking up on each other, because we usually don't do that, because I don't know why, but we usually don't check on people. But right now it's the most crucial time to make sure your friends are okay, your family is okay. But once this is over, I think I've been having less fun. I'm going to make sure I have fun with my baby and my husband and my friends.
Right now, since it's kind of over here where we are, so everything is back into normal. I can go shopping, I can go play around, but even though there's just that feeling of what if, you know, there's just one person left.
Yeah, there's still a bit of anxiety lingering. But what I noticed is the people that we are around here have gone back to their normal lives. It's like nothing ever happened.
Nothing ever happened. Yeah.
Crazy.
The citizens they're doing everything the way we found them doing it when we first came here. So
I never thought about that. I guess the first thing I'm gonna do when this is over is I'm gonna go outside, and then I don't know, because I'm still gonna be going to school. Like the routine is the same. I'm not a person that's like, yo, I haven't been going out to parties. I don't party a lot. I don't party.
I want to challenge myself to socialize more. A challenge because I'm an introvert and a homebody, so that would definitely be a challenge, but I feel like it's necessary. If I don't feel right about it, then I'm obviously not gonna force myself.
I feel like this lockdown has sort of like forced us to be with ourselves. You know, that people occupy themselves with work, with school, with other things, with other people. So when you're on lockdown, you are forced to be with yourself. You are forced to face yourself, face your fears, just introspect and get in touch with yourself. So it's been doing that for me as well. And I feel like what I want to do different when this is all over is be a bit more intentional about the things that I was still doing. You know, the things that you do, but you're not that intentional about them. I feel like I'm just going to be a bit more intentional and know that I'm doing this because I want this result. I
always thought I never had enough time, but what the lockdown and the quarantine and this pandemic has taught me is you do have time. I only work about 8 hours a day. I maybe travel 2 hours. For the rest of that time, I have time. I don't have to wait for a pandemic to teach me that I can go for my goals and my dreams, or things that I kind of put away So I think that's what I'm gonna do differently. I'm gonna live life to the fullest.
I think I'll probably depend less on people or spend less time with people, because I've seen that I can do it and I'm fine. You know, I've just been learning to depend on God, really, and I've seen that I can actually live. I'm okay. I'm coping without people. So I think I'll be much less dependent on people. I'm hoping I'll start reading a bit more and just being grateful for life.
Spending a lot less time by myself and more with my friends and family. I think we take for granted the privilege of having a support structure, the privilege of having friends, of having family. So yeah, when this is over, that's definitely one of the few things that I will be doing, spending as much quality time as I can with my loved ones.
To be honest, I would love to work from home. I mean, if I could work from home and still be able to go out shopping, to have brunch dates with friends, to go to the grocery store without worrying about anything, I would definitely take up that offer. So I think I'm going to be more intentional and diligent about finding some sort of an income stream that will give me a lot of money full-time remotely from home. So yeah, I should be more serious about that actually.
I've been able to do some things that force me a little bit out of my comfort zone, especially in terms of being creative, because I have to think out of the box, you know, just to come up with like the content that I'm able to make. So in that regard, I think I'm grateful for like creativity.
I am grateful right now for my good health.
For great leadership, I think that the government has done an amazing job in controlling and containing the virus.
My internet connection, that is what I'm most grateful for, because that is the first thing that I noticed.
I'm really grateful for good health.
Spending time with you.
Yeah, that was the best time, like for us to just, you know, spend time with each other, to even get to know each other better in a way that, you know, we don't move around out there, but at least we just, you know, sit down here, we talk, we watch movies that we watch we watch movies that, you know, that we all like every day, even though, you know, one is mad, but
Personally, I'm grateful for growth. I feel like I'm growing so much. Like I said, I've been having a lot of time for myself. I'm not occupied with schoolwork or events or anything. I'm just indoors, so I've been having a lot of time for myself.
I'm grateful that we are all here and we're trying and we're fighting. We're fighting back against this thing. I'm grateful that we're standing together.
Family, because they are one people that help me stay sane, and I'm thankful for them, because if I were to be alone, far away from home, I don't know if I would be coping right now.
I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful that we have not contracted COVID-19, that no one I know has, none of my family, none of my friends. I'm grateful for that.
A roof on top of my head. I am grateful for gas, electricity,
technology, because it's helped me. It's helped me a lot. I've been able to keep in contact with some really important people in my life.
I'm also grateful for life, that I don't know anyone that is affected by this in a direct manner. So I guess I'm grateful for like the grace of God for that.
I think it was just good, you know, having to sit back and relax in your house, and having to just sit back with yourself at certain times.
I'm grateful for the rest I got.
It's been helping me with communication. I'm not somebody who is that consistent with checking up on people and communicating, but I feel like this time has really been doing me good in that area.
I'm grateful for provision.
And I'm grateful for the peace and quiet which I didn't realize how much I needed.
I am grateful for my work, for the amazing support they have given me.
I'm also grateful that during the time that I'm recording this, we are still corona free.
I'm grateful that I'm able to eat every day, because there are people who are struggling with this. There are people who literally live from paycheck to paycheck and are currently losing their jobs, are currently people who have their own businesses cannot make money because they have to stay closed. And for me, I think that's what has really gotten to me the most, because I think the cruelest thing that any person can go through during this time is poverty.
Just the silent streets, just the quietness, the things that really gave me anxiety initially. I'm really appreciating them now.
I'm grateful for the friends that have also offered and given me support. I'm grateful for the government and providing the kind of reliefs that they have provided.
I'm grateful that there are people on the ground around the world working tirelessly to help those that have been affected and infected by coronavirus.
I'm grateful that at least I can eat, I can wake up healthy, and that I can stay in a place safe and secure.
The slowing down of life and just being able to be home and not feel guilty and not have to lie and make excuses about not attending someone's party. Yeah, I'm really thankful for being able to just chill guilt-free.
Technology. I'm forever grateful for technology because it connects me with my family.
I'm really glad that the government is doing something with this situation. A lot of other things can come, but if people start getting sick and if people end up with no food to eat, then people are not going to die because of the virus. People are going to die because of hunger. And how cruel and how sad is that?
I'm grateful for people that are still getting out of bed every day to provide services for us. People at grocery stores, of course our first responders, people who are doing deliveries for us, people who are still giving us some type of normalcy during these hard times.
Guys, just be grateful. If you have something to eat, be grateful. Be able to share and also share what you have with the people that are around you. We live in communities that may have people in need, and this is the time where we have to come through for them. If you've bought something, take a portion and share it with them.
I'm grateful for my relationship with God because that kept me going, that got me out of bed. So just my relationship with God and the fact that I have so much faith, you know. I have so much faith, regardless of how bad things are, how bad the situation seems. I always know at the back of my mind, at the back of my head, that things are gonna work out, that God is here for me and he's gonna take care of me, and he never disappoints. So I am forever grateful for that. There's still so much to be grateful for despite all other negative things and all other sad things and bad things. So as hard as it is, I think we should try to focus on the good things that have come out of this situation.
It's unfair for me to say this because obviously I don't know anyone, and behind the corona numbers is a person and a family behind that person, right? So it's unfair for me to say, but if you look at it like that, like Basotho you can see, okay, this thing is clearly helping the environment to some extent. Although some people would tell you that, okay, because people are like China is also locked down and they're leading like the fight against climate change, and they are not able to produce like solar panels as much and like wind turbines. That whole shenanigan, I get that part, but like the pollution levels are low. People are in their houses, like wildlife is free. We're not overfishing, we're not overdoing anything because we're very restrained. You can see, like, I'm studying to do aviation, so even on that end, it's very positive towards the environment, because you see less planes, meaning also less pollution, less air traffic, and
it's reminding us that we have very little control. That's number one. It's teaching us to hold on close to the ones that we love, because again, zero control over things that can happen. But it's also teaching our governments and businesses to think differently. I'm pretty sure there wasn't a relief fund for small businesses prior to this. I'm pretty sure that not a lot of businesses had BCM plans that included a pandemic. So it's gonna change the way we do things, and it's bad. It's really, really bad. But we're gonna learn today. We're gonna learn to do better.
For me personally, this has been like a good time for self-reflecting and just making sure that I'm aware of like my goals and how to pursue them. So I think this has also been a good time for me, to step out of my element and try to, find new ways of doing things. And I think in that regard, Nakuinana has been good for someone who needed like breathing space a bit to focus on other things as well.
This is another time for people that are quarantined with their families to like spend time together and get like to know each other, because when you see getting to spend time with a person that you live with and basically just living together and seeing each other for like a few hours is not actually knowing. So this is a time for families to know each other. I'm also looking for a wife, so I hope that that when I get married, this whole thing will happen again.
This has been a wake-up call for all of us. It has given us a chance to press the reset button and start all over and do better and greater. I can't imagine anyone getting out of this the same. I'm definitely not gonna get out of this the same. So it feels like it's the new year, in the beginning of the year, where people feel all energized and inspired and motivated to start afresh. This is what it feels like. It feels like I can start with my long list of resolutions and do my vision board and start all over and just be a better person, be a better person in all aspects of life.
I think it's just for all of us to stop from the hustle and bustle and see the important things in life. Just a reminder to reconnect with each other, reconnect with family, just to be grateful for the small things, and just for us to see that we don't really need to be this busy. We don't need to be chasing after the things we've been chasing after. And also, most importantly, just a reminder of how much we need God. And a reminder that we are not here forever. A reminder that we're gonna die. We're passing through. Like, we're here for a purpose, for a time, for a limited time. And let's not dwell too much on the things of this earth.
It's just a humbling experience, and again, I can't imagine people, the nation, the government being the same after this, doing things the same after this.
Well, I personally think what we just said, like family time. People got to spend time with their families. But one other thing that I think is that we got to be like more self-sufficient, not relying on
mostly on things that we think we can find out there
or that we can't live without. For example, like fast food or whatever. I think, you know how African presidents and leaders and whatever, when they're sick, they usually go out of their countries. I think this showed that in the case that you are not able to leave your country, you are not able to travel, invest in where you are, invest in your country, make your country better.
Yeah.
They've seen that things are not
right. And they had nowhere to run to.
Exactly. It revealed a whole lot. It revealed the cracks in the healthcare systems, governments. It revealed everything.
I feel like Molomowa, the pandemic is bonding, basically family bonding. I've said this a lot of times and I'm still saying it, that we are forced to be with ourselves. If you are at home, you're forced to be with your family. Oh my god, my favorite child's color is red. My child actually loves this. They love this TV show. I feel like it's just that bonding session, that get to know me, get to know each other kind of thing. And I think that's very, very important. By the time this ends, I feel like families will have grown so much.
That's a really difficult one to answer because it feels selfish to answer it. It's like a polar opposite. We have people over here, you know, they're losing their lives, they're struggling and fighting, and people that have lost their lives, and people that have lost family, and people that actually have maybe more severe mental health issues, and the anxiety is getting them on a level that maybe some of us wouldn't understand. So, and people that maybe you made some life choices and right now you're isolated, you're living by yourself, and you're realizing maybe I hate this, or life was so busy and you were going for life and going hard for things that you didn't spend time building relationships, and you're alone now, you're isolated, and it's not great. Or you're in a relationship that's abusive and you're home, you're stuck with this person. So there's so many things that are happening right now, and we can see all the bad, and the bad is bad, guys. Like, the bad is so bad. I feel for people right now. I feel for it. I feel it. You feel it when you're walking down the road. You feel it when you're having a conversation with an elderly person who's saying, well, why is it that, you know, this thing is killing more elderly people than it is maybe infants or young adults. So it's a lot. It's a lot. So we see them.
Is to value the moments that we live in, is to value my health, is to value my family and the relationships that I'm in, and is to value life, is to value the small things. Because I think for me, what I've really learned is to appreciate the small things in life. Appreciate that I can eat, appreciate that God has provided, appreciate that I still have life and good health and I can breathe.
I think other than the earth being on a sabbatical from all the waste that we generate, there's gonna be a huge reboot on the economy, and a lot of companies are going to start investigating the operations digitally, which will hopefully, as time goes, create new jobs, create higher paying jobs even. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what the economy is going to evolve into when all of this is over.
I think molemo ko hore fela ga hlokanang le batho. Like, you really something in life, you cannot do this life thing alone. You need people, because there comes a point, you know what, I have everything figured out and I don't need people, and they easily get rid of people just like that. But at this point in time, Corona doesn't care if you have it all figured out. You need people to make it through in life and just to stay sane, especially during this time. You have to talk to people. You can't always be watching TV or on your phone. Sometimes you need to talk to people. You need to voice out how you feel. That's very important. You need to be listened to.
On the flip side, if you were the person that all you cared about was your career, and if you were the person that you are a go-getter and you never made time to build good relationships with people, this is the time to build the relationships with people. This is the time to right your wrongs. If you had anger in your heart, you didn't forgive someone of something, things that you gotta let go of, this is the time to detox, let go of those things. It's time for us to get ourselves right. It's time for us to get balance, so that when things pick up again, we can go at it with, you know, a better attitude. We can go at things with substance. If you know there's things that's flawed in your character as a person, this is your space, this is your time. If maybe you hate your job, you hate the life that you live, this is the time to plan and to recreate and to start living it indoors, so that when those gates, when the borders, when, you know, the lockdown is lifted, you can attack life at its fullest, knowing at any moment that we might have another pandemic, knowing at any moment this might even come back, you know what I mean? So I think that the good thing that comes from this is that it gives everyone time, uninterrupted time to make changes, to deal with, to love. If you didn't love yourself, you're forced to love yourself. All you have is you at the moment. So I think that's the beauty that we can learn and gain. And if pride was in your way as well, in terms of maybe you don't have a good relationship with your dad or your mom or whatever, because you're realizing some people are losing, it will give you that space to say, hey, you know, time is not on our side. So I think the beautiful thing that definitely has come out of this is the opportunity to have uninterrupted time alone, to make decisions, to go for things. So yeah, that's the beauty of it, because a lot of us almost play slaves to the system.